If you don't have rooftop solar, but you would like long-term savings on your bills, the Clean Energy Council has released a report on just how much electrifying your home could save you. Con Haristodoulidis is the council's policy director and joins you this morning. Good morning to you, Con.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Really well, thank you. Now, just tell us, what are the main findings of this report when it comes specifically to household savings?
Yes, so the report we did, we looked at both rooftop solar and home storage. And what we looked at is the Australian Energy Market Operator does a planning report each year or each couple of years to show how much renewable energy we need to achieve the government's goals for both renewable energy and emissions reductions. And in that report, they come up with how much rooftop solar and home storage we will need to achieve those targets. And what we modelled was, if we don't achieve those targets, what does it mean? And basically we found that if we achieve those targets, households will save anywhere between $35 to $71 annually on their bill. And they don't have to actually do anything. It's just potentially other people putting solar on their homes or storage to support their solar. So those savings just come naturally to every electricity user in the system.
Okay. And in terms of the benefits of rooftop solar for homeowners and the environment, tell us about the benefits. How much does it really help?
Yeah, look, if you put solar on the roof yourself, the benefits are significant. We've heard stories of people being able to minimise their bills to pretty much zero energy bills, depending on their consumption. Others have been able to halve their energy bills or achieve even greater savings. So there's some significant savings from putting solar onto your home and being able to reduce your energy bills. And from the environment perspective, every solar panel we put and we produce electricity from those solar panels is a production that we don't have to produce from the brown and black coal. So every single megawatt we produce from solar panels is a megawatt we're taking away from the polluting coal-based generation. So that's a great outcome for everybody.
If someone is considering solar, how many panels do we need on our roof to reduce our bill to zero? What sort of size solar panel system would we need to install? I know that obviously varies depending on how much energy a household consumes, but just the average household, for instance, what sort of setup would one need to try and get those bills as close to zero as possible?
Yeah, look, you're spot on. It depends on your consumption and your location and the tree lines around your home. But look, solar panels have been growing in size. So the average solar panel people are getting now is around that 10 kilowatt mark. So that's quite a decent sized panel. That's probably getting people to the position where they're producing enough of their own generation to pretty much, if not have zero bills, have very low bills. So, yeah, the average, as I said, is around that 10 kilowatt. And we've come up from, the early days when about a decade ago where they were around sort of that 4 or 5 kilowatts. So they've sort of doubled in size. And the technology is getting better as well. Like each individual panel itself is able to capture and produce more energy from the sun than what it did in the old days. So not only are they getting bigger, but they're also getting more efficient in their production output.
There is the initial cost, obviously, of installing them, which understandably, particularly in a cost of living crisis, is going to put some people off. What are you finding? Is that a really significant barrier, do you think, in terms of the uptake of solar, that significant investment that is required to get that 10 kilowatt panel on your home, on your roof?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Look, the upfront costs are expensive. They have been coming down on average, and what's been really helping people get these panels on the roof has probably been a couple of things. There's been obviously some rebates both at the federal government and state government level that have helped reduce those upfront costs, which has been really good to help consumers. As energy bills are also going up, consumers are now starting to look at payback periods. And installing the solar and paying for the upfront costs now, you can pretty much get the payback on those in about 3.5, 4 years. So people are now thinking, well, 3.5, 4 years is not a bad period of time to be able to get a return on those solar panels. especially as now we've had sort of sustained growth in energy prices. So people are now taking the sort of the small, medium-term look to say, yeah, it's worth it. I pay the upfront cost, get my rebate from the government, and I've paid these things off within sort of 3.5, 4 years. So it's a good outcome for consumers.
But how long is the panel effective for? In 3 to 4 years, is it still going to be producing as much power as it does when you first install it? How long will that? What's the life cycle of that battery?
Yeah, so it's
panel
important
rather, that solar panel.
Yeah. Look, it's really important to maintain the panels, like getting them clean and making sure that there's no trees growing there, things like that. So the life of the panel is obviously increased by carrying out general maintenance of the panel around the home. Because of the improvements in the technology of the panels, you're getting much longer life now. So, warranty periods for panels are sort of ranging up to sort of about the 5-year mark. So, with a warranty of 5 years and a payback of 3.5 years, they're starting to make sense now, and that you're still going to get good use out of them beyond that 3.5-year mark.
Okay, so you're looking at perhaps based on that, about a year of effectively free power.
Yeah, look, so people are only starting to replace those earlier panels now, which is about 10 years now. So, they're not as efficient, but because the technology is better, you should be able to get 10 to 12 years out of the current panels that are in the market. So the warranties are 5 years, but you should be able to get longer life than 5 years.
Yes. Would you like to see better rebates, perhaps, do you think? Is that what you would be lobbying for? Is that what's needed to just get more people to install these solar panels?
So the thing that will actually get you the best value out of panels is home batteries. And so our report that we've just released really talks about rebates for people to get batteries to help people with the cost of the batteries, because the beauty of the rebate is if you've got excess power not the rebate, the beauty of the batteries, if you've got excess power during the day, so your panels are producing more than what you need during the day, you can store it in your battery and then use it in the evening. So that actually drives bigger savings for your bill. But obviously batteries are also very expensive as well. So our call now is for governments, both at the federal and state level, to subsidise and provide rebates for people to put batteries, because they actually really supercharge the value of those panels on your roof.
And what about the recycling of the panels? I know every state does it slightly different and has sort of different facilities available to people who want to recycle the solar panels. What are you seeing in terms of the progress there?
Yeah, Queensland's probably one of the states leading this area. They're doing a trial on the recycling of panels. It is really an infant industry in terms of the recycling of panels, and we're doing a lot of research and trials about how to best recycle them. The beauty is, if you think of everything that goes into a panel, it's the panel itself and the steel. So the steel component is at the moment being recycled. It's more the panels, and there's some technology that's we're trying to import from Italy, and we're also trialling some trials in Queensland, as I said, to see how we can recycle the panels. So it is still in its infancy, but there is a lot of work going on to be able to give these panels a new life or a new home once they finish the first generation of helping households.
And just bouncing back to the batteries for a moment, what does a battery, an average cost of a battery cost to install now? So you want to get your panels on your roof and then the battery to store the excess power. What does sort of a setup like that cost?
Yeah, so you're probably looking at both solar and battery around $15,000. So I said that is quite an expensive investment for people, especially in a cost of living crisis. So that gives a payback period of about 11 years, which is not great economics, and that's why we've this report we've done is we go into detail why a rebate on batteries and a significant sized rebate on batteries to help consumers to diffuse some of these upfront costs is really important, because we saw with panels, 10, 15 years ago when panels first came to market, they were expensive, but the governments did support them with rebates and consumers jumped on them. So we think we can do the same here now. If the governments can step in and help customers with a rebate to diffuse those costs, we can see a real takeoff of batteries as well.
Yeah, some really interesting research that you've done there, Con. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really do appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thanks, Sarah.